Okay, folks, I think we'll get started if that's okay with you. My name's Mike Roberts. I'll be going over the lesson hands that we prepared. Four out of the 12 were pre-dealt. The other ones are random. I'm happy to go over any of the other hands once we're through that lecture. The best way I found that works is if you just post a message into chat. I'll see it and I'll be able to deal with it at the end of the round. I did just post a copy of the PDF, which is essentially going to be exactly the lesson that I'm talking about right now. Okay, but let's get started. So the topic of this session's lessons were attitude signals. Signaling on defense is one of the best way to clarify ambiguous situations. If any of you have played with robots, robots don't signal, and it means you're frequently having to guess in situations where nice partners would have been able to help you out and tell you what they have and leave you to plan the defense accordingly. Um, so, first question is when do attitude signals apply? Attitude signals, the primary one is when partner has made a lead. You want to say, I like it or I don't like it. And in standard attitude, a high card in the suit that partner's led says, I like it. And a low card says, I don't like it. If you ever run across something called upside down signals, it's literally, they just reverse it. Low means I like it. Um, there's not that much difference between the two of them. I think most people start out playing standard signals. A lot of higher level partnerships play upside down. They're both about the same. Make sure you agree with your partner, but there's not too much of a difference between them. Uh, all right. So I was going to go over a few situations of what the signals show and why it's sort of needed. The first one that we had prepared is board number two. I think the auction would probably go about the same everywhere, but um, after East starts with a pass, South opens one spade, West passes. The North hand has 11 high card points. They have four card spade support, so they know they're one to play in spades. The simple way with simple methods is three spades is about 10 to 12 points and three or four spades. You might have slightly more complicated systems, but anything that shows about that point range and spade support is the bid you want to make there. Um, Pass. South has 14 points. If you have any excuse to go to game opposite a lemma raise, try to do that. You would have opened if you don't had the same shape, but not the queen of diamonds. That's enough for me. It's not crystal clear to go to four spades, but when in doubt, go on to game. It won't be too bad. And that should end the auction. Okay, so one spade, three spades, four spades. And we'll go from there. First question is, what should West lead? This isn't clear cut. You're certainly not leading a trump. The clubs are stronger than the hearts. They're both probably going to be reasonably safe leads, but the clubs are stronger than the hearts. If partner has the king or the 10 or the ace of clubs, you're in really good shape with a club lead. And if partner doesn't have any of those, it's not that likely that it's going to cost a trick by itself. And the other advantage is partner knows what you have when you lead the queen of clubs. They might be able to help out with the defense. So we lead the queen of clubs. Jack of hearts is a close second choice, but queen of clubs is what you should lead. So declarer has counting losers, looks like they have a loser in each suit. There are possibilities, but it looks like you have a spade loser if the king of spades might be on side, a heart loser. Certainly the ace of diamonds are going to lose, and you might lose a club if you don't get a chance to pitch it, or the defense might screw up and let you take three tricks and clubs. But the first thing we want to do as declare is we want to take the trump finesse. And given that, we should try winning the ace of clubs. So this is where the attitude signal comes into play. Partners led a card, dummies played a card. We're not going to win the trick, but we want to say whether we like clubs or we don't like clubs. Here, this is the easy case. From three small clubs, we play the small club. If we had king 8-4 of clubs, we would play the 8 of clubs to say I like clubs. And because the queen of clubs promised the jack, I would even encourage if you just had the 10 of clubs. If you had 10-8-4 of clubs, I would play the 8 of clubs. That just tells your partner, look, it's safe to keep on going after clubs. But here, West has to pay attention to the spot cards, and if they do, they note that the 4 of clubs is the lowest outstanding club. So partner has chosen, hopefully chosen, to say, I don't like clubs. It's not demanding a shift, but if West chooses to continue a club, they're on their own. I mean, if West started with Queen Jack 10 of clubs instead of Queen Jack 9, then it was probably safe to just continue clubs when they got it. But I'll get to that in a second. Ace of clubs on a discouraging club. Now West knows the partner doesn't have anything in clubs. So when declare takes a spade finesse, West should know that a club lead is going to go into the king 10. So so a club lead is going to give up a trick. Given that, West has to shift to something. On this hand, either shift works as long as East is a little careful. But the Jack of Hearts through the Queen X looks like the obvious shift. And that should do it for Declare. We'll try the Queen just in case they let away from the King. But now Declare doesn't have much chance. Try maybe leading the Queen of Diamonds. Now East can go in. They can return a club through the King 10. And now West is going to take the 10 of hearts and the Jack of clubs as the other two defensive tricks. But you can see that there clearly we could have switched around the cards a little bit, and it could have been necessary to continue clubs at trick 3 from West's point of view. They had to rely on the attitude signal from partner in order to work out what the best defense was. Here, their partner told them, I don't have the king of clubs, I don't have the 10 of clubs. And that was enough for West not to continue clubs blindly. If you were playing with somebody that doesn't make attitude signals for whatever reason, you've got to guess a little bit more than you should have to. What to do when you're in with the king of spades. Basically, on this one, as long as West didn't lead clubs twice, you probably were going to beat the contract. The Jack of Hearts lead would have beaten the contract, but I still think the Queen of Clubs is a better lead. So that's the most common time that you use attitude signals, and your partner is when you lead a card, and partner has a choice between playing a high one and a low one, nothing to do with taking the trick or not taking the trick. You can say how much you like the lead. When that's relevant. The fourth lesson hand is one where I suggest not doing it, but that's the primary situation where you give attitude lead when partner leads the suit. You don't tend to do it when the declarer has led the suit. You either don't signal at all. Sometimes you give count. Sometimes you give suit preference, but you don't give an attitude signal when declarer is leading the suit. The reason is there's just too many times when you need to play a high or a low card just based on the suit itself. rather than telling a partner what they've got. So that's if you get one lesson out of this, attitude signals are primarily when partner leads the suit. On this hand, it's necessary to avoid giving up a club trick that you were due to get on defense. Okay. Thank you for that one.
Is it only on the very lead or on any
No,
turn?
anytime, like I'll go through it. The next one, whenever partners led a suit, if there's ambiguity about whether the partner of the person who led, it's not just a trick one. The next hand I think might be give a better example of it. So, um, okay. So this is another one. We're gonna have the same auction again, but that's okay. And I'll show you the way you do it on this one. Um, so West starts with the bidding, and I suggest they start with a spade. North says pass. Again, there are lots of different methods out here. I think we agree this is 10 high card and a doubleton. It's a limit raise. The simple standard American way of doing this is three spades. If you happen to play 2/1, you go through a forcing no trump and then you may jump in spades. But in standard American, I think this is the same thing. And again, West's excuse for going, they have a sixth spade here. That's enough for me to try going to four spades. Any excuse to accept a limit raise, we do that. Okay, so four spades, and that should end the auction. North isn't quite worth a takeout double or a two club bid over one spade. If you did do that, I don't think it makes too much of a difference because South isn't good enough to interfere over three spades. Um, but one spade, three spades, four spades is the auction I projected. There might be slightly different ones. Opening lead. This is one that it's different between no trump and suit contract. If you are defending no trump, you should lead your fourth best club, fourth best from longest and strongest. Against a suit contract, it's usually preferable to lead from a shorter suit that has a good sequence. A club lead could easily cost a trick, whereas a diamond lead by itself won't cost a trick. It might cost a tempo, but there's good chances of setting up tricks in the diamond suit. And you're not probably going to take a trick with the long club like you would in no trump. So against four spades, I would lead the jack of diamonds. If I was defending against, if it went 1 no 3 no, I'd lead the four of clubs. But against suit contracts, you're trying to take high card tricks and sometimes roughs and things like that. But leading from sequences is both informative and a good start in setting up defensive side tricks. That's one of the big differences between leading against no trump and leading against suits. So I suggested leading the jack of clubs. Um, yeah, I'll go through it on a club lead afterwards. But so the jack of diamonds is led. Declare again has what looks like a lot of losers, but there are finesses everywhere. One spade loser if the spade finesse is off. One or two heart losers. It depends where the heart honors are. One or two club losers. Again, depends where the club ace is. And fortunately, no diamond losers. So there's anywhere from um, two to five losers on the hand. We'll just have to see how the play progresses. But the first thing that Declara wants to do is take a trump finesse, and they also want to make sure that they don't block the diamonds. If you were going to play the diamond suit yourself, you'd start with the ace, the short high honor from the short hand first. We want to do the same thing on their lead. So Jack of Diamonds 2. South can say they don't like diamonds. It's not that relevant on that. That's not the attitude signal I'm going for. But they should play the four of diamonds to say I don't like diamonds. And Declara wins the ace. And they try a spade finesse. And South wins the king. So what should South do? They don't really know exactly what the defense. It might be right to return a diamond if partner has a singleton. That's fairly unlikely. Um, but partner might have the king of clubs, or partner might have something. Partner might want to have a heart come through the west hand because you'd be leading through up to weakness. When you don't know what to do on defense, a good idea is to cache a high card that is safe to cache and see if partner can give you an idea what to signal. So even though this is not on the opening lead, if we lead the ace of clubs here, now this one is important. I know everybody learns that you lead the ace from ace king. That only applies at trick one. The reason is that there's going to be lots of cases on the defense where you want to cache the ace without the king to get an attitude signal from partner. So if you're going to lead the ace with or without the king, partner won't know whether um, they should encourage with the queen or not. If you have the ace king, they want to encourage. If you don't have the ace king, you want to have your partner discouraged with the queen on some hands. So ace from ace king is just on the opening lead. If not, the ace denies the king. You lead the king from ace king if you're on defense after trick one. That'll help your partner signal more intelligently. So on the ace of clubs, you sort of like clubs, but you know Declara has the king because your partner's led the ace. So the danger is probably pretty self-evident that if you say, oh yeah, keep on coming with clubs by playing the seven, if your partner trusts you and leads another one, now Declara is going to win the king and draw some trumps, and now they'll be able to run the diamonds, and you're not going to get any heart tricks. So on this hand, sorry, on the ace of clubs, I would suggest discouraging on the club. Uh, Hopefully your partner will say, okay, partner said they don't like clubs. And again, I think that the chances that a diamond back from south is going to be the right card is going to be pretty slim. So I think on this hand, south will probably say, just by trumps are out, diamonds are out, clubs are out, let's lead a heart. That was what north was waiting for. They'll probably play the jack, but north can win the queen of hearts and cash the ace of hearts. So a couple of lessons on this one. Once again, sorry, I know I just said this, but the ace lead on defense after trick one denies the king, lead the king. Attitude signals are contextual. Um, Even though you had the queen of clubs on this hand, so that a club lead might set up a club trick, you didn't want clubs continued because of this running suit and dummy. It's pretty easy to come up with a hand that you want to be a little more passive on the defense, and then you would encourage clubs from the same holding. So attitude signals are pretty tricky in that you have to look at the whole hand most of the time before you decide whether you want to encourage or discourage. This hand you want to discourage, even though you did hold the queen of clubs. You would only encourage with the king. It's a bit tricky. There's not really hard and fast rules here, but it's a good idea, especially when your partner leads the ace, to say, I think it's a good idea to continue this, or I think it's a good idea not to. What satisfies good idea here or not really depends on the rest of the hand. It's very much dependent on what the other suits are and things like that. So you don't want to have hard and fast rules like encourage whenever you have the queen or king, because there are hands where you don't, such as this one. But attitude signals should occur whenever partner has led a card to a trick. and you don't have to play a high card to win the trick or something like that. Um, so when you've got a choice of cards to play, it should be an attitude signal when your partner is led. Okay. Hopefully that was hopefully that answered your question about whether they just apply at trick one. Trick one is the most common case where it applies, but it should apply whenever partners gets on lead on the defense. All right. Next one, and this one was a little more advanced. Um, it's a little tricky one, but it's a nice lesson anyway, so we'll deal with that. And the auction's going to be interesting here. So South opens 3 hearts, and I think West is just a 3-spade overcall. I like the fact I have 7 spades, but 4 spades would be a far stronger hand than this. So I think 3 spades is enough with that. So how about North? The problem is that if you just bid, so the instinct is let's just bid 4 hearts. We've got 3-card support from partners preempt. The problem is that they're going to bid the best thing that can happen is they're going to go 4 spades, pass, pass, something like that. And now we probably got a good sacrifice in 5 hearts. So we're going to do that. The problem is now both East and West know they have a spade fit and they know where they're going. You've given them enough information to decide what to do on this auction. They can decide whether to double, they can decide whether to bid for 5 spades. They can also do something different, like they might be able to blackwood over 4 hearts. That's what I'd suggest doing that. Given when partner makes a preempt and you're reasonably sure you know where they're going and you know they're going to sacrifice against it, it's a really good idea to make what's called a premature sacrifice. Sacrifice before they've made their bid. And the advantage here, if you bid 5 hearts right over three spades, that's what's called an advanced sacrifice. The advantage of this is you've taken away the 4 level from them completely. And if East wants to support spades, they have to do it at the 5 level. They have to decide right now whether to double 5 hearts or show their spade support. This hand, they might even bid 6 spades. You know what? I'm going to have them do this. It's all going to be a question of how many tricks you get on defense against spades. So let's have them bid 6 spades. It's a nice hand. It's 12 high. I'd like to be able to blackwood to make sure I'm not off 2 key cards, but they've taken that away from me. This is a bit pushy. I imagine most East-West pairs will be playing spades. They're probably not in 6, but it doesn't affect the defensive lesson on this hand. So the main point of this one wasn't the 5 heart bid or the 6 spade bid. Those were just sort of side highlights. But this is the suggested one. Okay, what should we lead? Lead partner suit. Well, we like leading aces against slams anyway. The heart trick could easily go away on a minor if we don't lead it. So we lead the ace of hearts. Again, against the 5 level or higher, because you might want to cash the ace from a side suit just by itself. You don't lead ace from ace king at the 5 level or higher. You lead the king from ace king. There's a little bit of ambiguity about the king lead now, but when you lead the ace, your partner knows you don't have the king as well. That might be useful. Okay, ace of hearts, 8. So this is a special situation. This still should be partner has led the suit. The criteria for this signal that I'm going to tell you about is dummy has a singleton. They're playing a trump contract. And the partner of the opening leader has a lot of cards to choose from. They can play high, they can play low, they can play the middle card. So because it's relatively rare that you want to continue the suit where dummy has a singleton, experts here play that in this situation, it's a suit preference signal, not an attitude signal. So if South had avoiding clubs, they could play the two of hearts. That doesn't just say I don't like heart. That says I would like you to lead a club. If they had a void in diamonds or they had the ace of diamonds, they could play a really high heart. I'd suggest playing the highest heart I can afford, which is the king. That would say I lead a diamond. On this hand, if you look at the spade spots, if we can force the east hand to ruff, then the nine of spades is going to set up as a spade trick. If what you do when you want to encourage, on the rare cases where you want to encourage partner, is you play the middle card. If it's not high or it's not low, it's not very, very high or very, very low, the middle card says, I don't particularly want either of the other suits led. You're free to do that on your own, but I'm not going to help you. And it sort of implies that you would like the suit continued. So here, I think that South should play the five of hearts, the middle of their seven. And if they're on the same wavelength, then North will continue a heart. It gets roughed. And now I'm not going to run through all of this, but you can sort of see the nine of spades is going to set up as the second trick on defense. If North didn't continue a heart, if they shifted to the jack of diamonds, then declare, I have to be careful I don't screw this up. Declare can win, take a spade finesse, doesn't matter. Repeat the spade finesse. And now they can pitch the jack of hearts away on the queen of diamonds eventually. They have to overtake the club, but they can make six that way. In this case, it's a very relatively rare case where you want to tap dummy. And this is a situation where normally it's an attitude situation, but by agreement, if the partner of the opening leader has lots of cards in the suit led, dummy has a singleton, then it's suit preference. And if you want to say, please try and continue the suit, you play the middle. High and low are suit preference. For the other two suits, trumps are eliminated. That's one where normally it's an attitude situation, but this very special case, it's a suit preference situation that you might be able to give an attitude card as well, an attitude signal rather. It's a tricky one. It doesn't come up that often, but when it does, it's really useful in getting partner to shift to the right card. As opposed to just saying, I don't like hearts. You can say lead clubs or lead diamonds. Or you can say, I don't want you to lead clubs or diamonds. And hopefully they can work it out. This one's a tricky one. A couple of advanced concepts on this one. But if you like it, use it. It's relatively rare. I like the five heart bid though. That's a really useful bid to look on advanced sacrifices. It's very tough for the opponents to bid over something like five hearts right away. But it's a tricky one. Anyway, all right. Okay, one more hand, and then I'll go over any of the other hands that you'd like, and then we'll go.
Well, question about the bidding on that hand.
On board seven?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
sort of made it up, so I would expect most East-West pairs to just be playing four or five spades.
Yeah, we kind or I kind of blew it. We went three hearts, three
Yep,
spades,
yep,
and pass,
that's
and
okay as
we
well.
we just passed it at three spades. We didn't get
No,
a
I think
spade.
East had 12 high card points,
Yeah.
and they all and three card spade support. So if your partner bids over a preempt, you don't worry about the first 6 points. Your partner's sort of counting on you for that. but they have 12 high card points. So I think if it started three hearts, three spades, pass, East should at least bid four spades. I'd actually bid four hearts to say I have a really good four spade bid. Slam is on a spade finesse plus a little bit extra. So slam isn't great, um, but you should definitely get to four spades. I agree with three hearts. I agree with three spades, but I think the East hand should be raising to four.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, last one. Okay, what did I do in this? This was another attitude situation that there's a rule about this one. Um, so auction should be pretty simple though. North has 15 high card, they bid one no, pass. South has 10 high card points. They're not interested in looking for there's no 4-4 major suit fit. And I don't like the fact I don't have that many aces and kings, but it's still 10 high card points and it's still a decent diamond suit. So I think 3 no trump is right. And I think that should end the auction. Against no trump, we like leading from our long suits. We also like, if they haven't investigated for via Stamen or transfers, if they haven't looked for a major suit fit, that means we're more likely to want have the majors than they are. So try to lead a major over a minor. If the I'm going to lead my fourth best spade, but if the suit holdings were reversed, if I had Jack fourth of clubs and King 10 fourth of sorry, if I had Jack fourth of spades and King 10 fourth of clubs, I'd still lead a club because I want to lead a major against this auction. Okay. Anyway, we've led the three of spades, fourth best from our strongest major. First question is what should North is to declare what should they play from dummy at trick one? Well, if you play low, unless West plays the king, and they almost never should, you're going to be able to win the jack, but then either one of them, whoever has the king of spades, is going to be able to squish it by leading the king the next round. So it's better, excuse me, for South to play the queen of spades here. That way, if it holds, I'll go through this in a sec. Now you've got the ace jack. If East gets on lead, they won't be able to lead a spade without setting up a trick. So I think that Clara should play the queen of spades from dummy. Excuse me. What should West say? What should West do? And what does the signal mean? So first thing is this should be an attitude situation because East needs to know who has the jack of spades. If the rule of thumb, whether it's an attitude situation or not, is if dummy wins the queen, king, or ace, the situation should be an attitude situation. You're signaling that you've got the missing honor. It's not just I like the suit. It should be a high one here should say I have the jack of spades, and the low one should say I don't have the jack of spades. That'll let partner know whether or not they can safely continue from king 10. If dummy wins the jack, there's almost I can't come up with a hand where partner needs to know whether you have the 10 or not. So if you can't beat the jack in dummy, it isn't an attitude situation anymore. I would suggest it being a count situation, but I'll get into that a little more on Thursday when we do count signals. But if dummy wins the queen, partner needs to know about the jack, or they might. So we encourage if we have the jack, we discourage if we don't have the jack, irrespective of how many cards we hold. So on this hand, it goes queen of spades, 2-5. Declare sort of has a choice between going after hearts or going after diamonds. I'm going to suggest going after diamonds because West is not going to rise This, I think, is going to be more likely that East is going to win the trick. And East will know, um, East won't be able to lead spades safely. East is the safe hand relatively. West is the dangerous hand. So on a diamond, queen, king, the important part here is that East now knows, should now know that Declare has both the ace and the jack of spades left. So they know that a spade lead, which is still probably the most likely source of tricks, a spade lead is going to cost a quick trick if they lead another one. This is why if you don't play attitude signals, you've got a pure guess whether Declara has the jack of spades or not. If Declara had started with ace 8-7 of spades, for example, they would have played the queen of spades at trick one. So partner, fortunately, if you have a partner that you trust, partner has told you that they don't have the jack of spades. The shift is not obvious. A club, I'm definitely going to shift. A heart or a club could both be right. A club lead is probably a little more dangerous because leading away from a jack isn't usually that good an idea. You so I would lead the seven of hearts, but it's an educated guess. It's not clear cut. It's just clear cut that you don't lead a spade at trick three. And you don't want to lead the ace of diamonds and set up Declare as diamond suit for them. So it's sort of a guess between hearts and clubs. But if you got your fingers on a heart lead, you do want to lead a high heart to tell your partner, I'm not really interested in hearts that much. And hopefully, if West is on the same page, they can win the ace and then they can return a spade. Now we were leading through the ace jack. Now we're in great shape. Um, when they play a diamonds, if they do, now we've got enough information that we can cash the king of spades and the 10 of spades. So this was just a signaling standard that that's how you beat this contract. I can see a lot of people making 3-no trump on this. If you don't have good signaling methods and or you don't trust your partner, um, you're gonna let 3-no trump make on hands like these. But if you're good about signaling when partner makes a lead, then will be able to tell your cards fairly accurately, at least in that suit. And that's the basis for good defense is one person tells the other one what they have or they suggest something, and then the other one processes that information and uses it accordingly. Attitude signals, the I like it or I don't like it, are primarily used when your partner has led the suit, either on opening lead or on other ones, or if they've made a lead later in the play. The other situation where it's fairly common, I didn't put in an example hand, is if Declare is running a suit and you have to make pitches and you want to help your partner say, I'm holding on to this suit, you should hold on to this other suit. That's another attitude situation. If they're in four spades and they're running clubs, for an example, after they've drawn trumps, a high heart would say, "Look, I think I've got the hearts controlled." A low heart would say, I don't have anything particular in hearts." And the same thing in diamonds. Sometimes your cards in the suit are such that you can't spare a high card to say directly, "I like this suit." You have to say, "I don't like this other suit," and both partner works it out. All right. Thank you guys. This was sort of a tricky one to do lessons for, but hopefully I gave a couple of decent ideas. Um, are there any other hands where you'd like to go over the bidding or the play?
Can you go
If
over the bidding on 11, please?
sure, good thing I don't have to reload that one. Sure. Okay, I haven't seen this hand before, so we'll go for that. So South starts with a pass. I think I mentioned this on last Thursday lesson. I like opening one diamond when I'm 4-4 in the majors, or minors, sorry. You can't open a heart because you don't have 5. You can't open a no trump because you have a small singleton. I suggest one diamond over instead of one club because I don't have because I might have to rebid 2 clubs the next one. And in fact, that's going to happen. So I open a diamond, pass, east. It's 5. If you passed here, that's okay. But it's still 5 high card and a doubleton. And it used to be you needed 6 high card to respond. That standard, especially responding to one of a minor, is going down and down. It's probably I've seen experts do it on 1 point when they're very short and their partner's minor. That's a bit extreme, but I think 1 spade is pretty standard with that. If you passed, it's okay, but it's going to be very tough to back into a spade fit if that's where you belong. Pass. This is a tricky one. Again,
We had a
some people
different
would rebid
hand.
1 no with this,
We had a
but
different hand,
I'm
actually.
this is not 10-11.
But R11 South had 0 clubs.
Okay. Can you hold on 1 second? Let me see if I can
Sure.
find it.
Yeah, I agree with her comment. I was looking and it didn't seem
A
like.
different hand for hand 11.
Yeah,
Ugh, okay. Give me 2 minutes and I'll be able to get it up there. Sorry. Oh, I think I know it. All right. Okay. No, that's that. All right. It was definitely hand 11 though, right? Okay. Okay. Sorry, I guess this won't take for. Well, let's see if it did the right thing. No, it's doing the same thing. Kathy, am I a director in? Is the tournament still active?
No, but I was gonna look on I was looking on ACBL Live to see what they have.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me do that.
Let me just look and I had to get out of it to answer your question. Hang on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, silly system. Club result? Oh, is it under club results?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if it's been posted yet. Community game, yes, it has been reposted. So let's see.
Okay, so
And 11.
where is it in the community game?
It's under ACBL HQ, or you can look at 9. It's called ACBL HQ Bridge Club. Let's see. Hand 11 is a king. North has a king, queen, jack, 8 of spades.
Hang on. No, that's
King, queen, jack, 8 of spades. So let
sorry,
me.
Kathy. I'm on live right now. I just don't see where it is.
You could search for. Search at the top for 909994.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go.
It's weird that it would
Got
be.
it. Okay, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay. Weird. Okay. I can see the hand now. Hopefully we've got some. All right. So yes, South is void in clubs. They have 9 high card, but that's not enough to open the bidding. So I think it goes pass, pass. North has 17 high card points. Again, with a small singleton, you shouldn't open a no trump. So North should open a club. East might overcall the diamond, but really not recommended. They say pass. Either way. So a club pass. South probably should just concentrate on the majors and bid a heart. You can bid a diamond and that's okay. You'll find the majors quickly enough. But usually you have a little stronger hand to bid a diamond and then show a 4-card major. So a diamond would be okay, but I like just bidding a heart. Let's work out the major suit fits right away. 1 heart, so a club pass a heart. West passes. North has 17 high card points and a singleton. This is very close to me between 3 hearts and 4 hearts, or if you play splinters, 4 diamonds. I think I would just raise to 4 hearts. My high cards are all pure. The Jack of Spades complements the King and Queen nicely. So my suggested auction is a club, a heart, 4 hearts. South is pretty close to making a move over 4 hearts, but with bad trumps and a void and partner suit, I'm going to go low and pass. So my suggested auction is a club, a heart, 4 hearts, pass. The other auction is a club. If South started with a diamond, North shouldn't jump at this round. They do have more than a minimum opening bid, but I think they just want to bid a heart. So a club, a diamond, a heart. South has 9 high card with 4 trumps. You're not sure that the club void is an asset, but it's probably worth more than 2 hearts. So the other auction would be a club, a diamond, 1 heart, 3 hearts, which is about 10 or 11. And then North should just go to 4 hearts. So I don't think you just coincidentally end up in hearts instead of spades. I don't think that they should I don't think you should be investigating slam. It might end up making slam because the aces are opposite shortness. You might be able to rough away all the clubs. So it might end up making 6. I don't think 6 is very biddable, but you do want to be able to get to game on these kinds of hands. You have 17 high card opposite 9. I'm just trying to look on I can see what the other auctions were, maybe. So South opened. Okay, so if South opened the bidding,
Yeah,
I
I
think it's a
was
bit.
South. I
Yeah.
opened, I gave myself extra points for the shortness.
We try not to do that until we know there's a fit. Um, you can sort of keep it as a vague, this might be a good thing or a bad thing. But if partner has King, Queen, Jack, 6 of clubs and not much else, then the club void is not useful at all. You try to count points for shortness um, when you've established that there's a fit somewhere. Okay, but now given that, I'm looking at this auction on 11. Do you guys see the screen? I don't know if you guys do.
Yes,
We
yeah,
can
we
see
see.
the
Okay, great. So over a diamond, 2 clubs expresses the values, but it makes the bidding of major suits a little more ambiguous. As you can see on this hand, South wasn't sure whether 3 hearts was an actual heart suit, in which case I'm sure they would have been happy to raise to 4, or just sort of a general, I'm showing values here and let's look for 3 no. It's a lot easier after a diamond opening if North just responds a heart. Let's Partner will raise with 4 hearts. If partner doesn't have 4 hearts, they'll bid a spade. North will know right away whether there's a heart fit, whether there's a spade fit, or whether there's neither. They might not be their last decision on the hand, but I like North responding 1 heart a lot more than 2 clubs. We'll get the major suit situation sorted out right away, then we'll work it out. So a diamond, a heart, 2 hearts. North might do a little more than bidding 4 hearts. They might make some investigative move. But I think South, having opened their 9-point hand, probably will turn down any invitation to get beyond the 4 heart level. So after a diamond, a heart, 2 hearts, I think North South are going to get to 4 hearts, and probably that'll be it. On this actual hand, the other part is after a diamond, 2 clubs. When you have 4-4 in the majors here, it's for the same reason that you respond to one of a minor with 1 heart when you have 4-4 in the majors. If you have 4-4 in hearts and spade, you've opened a diamond and partners bid 2 clubs. You bid hearts now, not 2 spades, even though the spades are stronger. That's because if partner has spades over 2 hearts, they can introduce them at the 2 level. If partner has hearts over spades, they have to bid them at the 3 level. And you've chewed up a round of bidding where you sort of need it. So that's another lesson is with 4-4 in the majors, even though it's the second round of bidding, bid hearts first, irrespective of strength. It'll let you find your major suit fits more easily than if you bid spades. Did that help at all?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys. I think that's about it for this one. This was attitude signals. We have another one on Thursday. That'll be more about count signals, when they apply, for that one. And I hope you join us for this. I hope you had a good time with this one. And I'm sorry for I don't know how the hands got messed up, but we got it taken care of. So thank you again. Hope to see you on Thursday.
Hey,
And,
thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
So what do you think
Right.
happened with the hands?
I don't know what happened. I mean, that was weird. I don't know how that happened. How do I stop recording? Stop recording. That's what we want to do.